Hey guys, Butterman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am doing another ranking One Piece characters as tier list. And another one I got from AC in the comments. Actually, in the comments of my Squid Game or the Mario Kart ranking video. I'm sorry, gave me another great idea, which I'm going to be doing today, which is ranking One Piece characters based on how good they would be as the President of the United States. We're going to be using the same tier list for simplicity's sake. I know it doesn't have several major characters, but I haven't seen any complaints in the comments about that so far, so we're just going to keep going with it. Um, if you have any ideas for things you want me to rank One Piece characters as in a tier list, leave it in a comment or to continue the roommate, or even to mix and match some of these ideas we've already done with potentially some of the other animes and franchises I've also covered. Um, so, getting into this now, we have best of the best president material. Um, I feel like the tiers are pretty self-explanatory. We have best of the best present material, very good, pretty good. Maybe they have like one issue, but overall pretty solid. We have doesn't really do anything but no detriments either. Negatively contributes in multiple ways, and just straight up a dictator. Okay. So Absalom, terrible. I terrible, awful. Um, because he just he would not like uh, um he has literally no agency whatsoever. He has no power to lead. He would be horrible on deciding policy. If anyone came to him, he would probably just try and seek away using the clear free. Awful, 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 absolutely horrible. Um, Ace, feel like Ace would not really care that much about being president, so he wouldn't really do anything. Um, Alvita, awful. In fact, do I put her down in dictator here? No, she's not. She's not like quite that much of a tyrant. Um, but not good president material whatsoever. Okay. Aokiji. Huh. Aokiji. I don't think Aokiji would do anything because he has the whole idea behind his character in the story of One Piece is the fact that he has like very unclear justice, and as a result, he probably wouldn't be very good at like directing policy and making good decisions for the sake of the country. So I don't think he would do anything, to be honest. Scratchman Apu would just be awful as well because he just cannot make policy in any level whatsoever. Arlong would be a dictator straight up. He would try and dominate every single human that was not a fishman, and even then he would find some way to be a dictator over a fishman as well. Um so buggy. Uh um hmm. This is tricky. I'm I'm actually not sure on Buggy. With Buggy, I think that he might be. um, It would be extremely chaotic, not necessarily the most composed. But if he had like a good theme, um, nah, nah. Buggy, he is just way too selfish to end up like being able to create anything cohesive, and it just would not be a very neat mix. Okay. I expect most of this list to be very much toward the bottom end of this tier. However, the first character in my mind that immediately goes to best of the best material is Whitebeard. Um, because if he happens to treat like the United States as if it was his family, and that's how he dictates policy, um, with his just entire nature, then I think he's definitely not going to get involved in any scandals or corruptions of political power. He's very fair, I think. I think this is an easy choice for best man's material. So Bartolomeo, I actually think would probably be pretty solid, but the one issue would probably be um if he's a fan of a particular person like he is of Luffy, then he may try to promote and elevate a potentially corrupt official. So that could be not a great mix. Ben Beckman, we still do not really know very much about, but kind of just going on vibes, I feel like he would be very good. Um, I think Capone Beji would also be very good because, yes, he is a mafia boss, but I think the thing to take in, well, I, I do need to think about that, but that does slide him down a tier. But I do think Capone Beji would be solid because I think that, him being the leader of his mafia family, he clearly has his shit together. He knows, like, what is good policy and what is not. And so I think that he would be decent at least at being able to decide that. Bellamy would definitely be some kind of dictator. I'm convinced of that. Bellamere, ooh, ooh, hmm. I kind of want to leave this tier a little bit exclusive. I may move Bellamere up though. Bellamere is fantastic material because she's a former Marine, so she understands the kind of value of discipline, but also the value of caring for people. I think that she would be very like even-minded and kind of um stable and like and she's very smart as well. I think it's just all a good mix. Um Beppo, I mean, he wouldn't really do anything, to be honest. Big Mom, just straight up a dictator, if not worse. Um, Bruno, I don't think that would lead to good things, because he is a CP9 agent with ulterior motives. Blackbeard is just a dictator. Um, Bonnie does not work because she's a 12-year-old child. Um, Groggy would not be interested whatsoever. Douglas Bullet is probably a dictator. Jesus Burgess would probably make some disastrous decisions. Cavendish negatively affects the country because of his very over the top personality, and also the X factor of Hakuba could randomly start killing citizens, which is not a good thing. Um, and then neither of these characters have any qualifications to be president whatsoever. Don Xinjiao, I feel like, would be just a dictator. Okay, that was a long string of bad ones. We do have one good one here, in my opinion. I think that Chopper would be very good. Well, I'm gonna move him down to pretty good, maybe one primary issue. I think the only issue that Chopper might have is I feel like his naive nature might lead to him being manipulated a bit too easily into doing into making policies and decisions that negatively affect the country as a whole. Um, but I think that Chopper is very smart. I think he's very like, for the most part, keen on his surroundings. He is like I said, naive on quite a few things, but what he knows very well, and has like a good head on his shoulders, I think. Cracker, probably a dictator. Crocodile, definition of a dictator. Crocus literally would not give a shit about anything. Um, uh, let's see. Um, Jazz Bones. Uh, I just straight up think he wouldn't really care. He wouldn't really do anything. Dofi, definition of a dictator. Dory also would not really care. D-Desk would not do anything because he would literally just sit at his desk looking to the east and just do fucking nothing at all. Um, Drake, I don't think he would do anything. And Nell, like God Complex, literally, Foxy, horrible, horrible. Okay, finally, another good one. We have Fujitora. I think Fujitora is very good because he's very smart. He knows how to pick out bullshit. He's very fair in his policies, and he's a good administrator as well. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna move anyone else up to best of the best present material because it's looking like we are really going to get a ton of stinkers in this list. But I may elevate one or two of these other characters depending on how many we end up with there. Fukuro, absolute disaster, could not make decisions for shit. Okay, Gar. So I don't really think Garp would want to do anything, to be honest. Like, Garp really is only concerned about fighting things. He isn't really um concerned with the responsibility side of it necessarily. Um, Okay, sorry for the pause. I wanted to make sure I was right about this name, and I wasn't right. So I apologize, Genzo, for saying their name wrong in the other videos. However, Genzo, I think, would be very good. Because he's already kind of like a natural leader of Tokoyashi Village, and he took pretty significant efforts, like for in terms of what he could do, um, in terms of trying to at least somewhat defend Tokoyashi Village from the Fishmen and Arlong. And also, he was like one of the first people to actually believe Nami's story. Um, well, believe her when she was telling the truth, I should say. Um, okay, so normally I would not say this about any of the other giants because I just don't think they would care as much. But we've gotten a lot more to Hajrudin in Elbaf now, and so this significantly changes my opinion on him. I would actually put Hajrudin up in very good because he's almost already kind of acting sort of in a way like a leader of Elbaf, even though he's not like the king. He's the son of the king. So he has some training at the very least there. But also like he is the captain of the new giant pirates, so he does have like control, not control, but like experience managing others and kind of making policy, I suppose, in a way. So, like overseeing things, I guess I should say. And I think that he has a fantastic temperament as well. I think he would make a very good president. Um, Now Boa, I think would be solid because we see her during most of her screen time. She is um ruling over Amazon Lily with a fair amount of success, it seems. I think the issue with Boa would be that she is kind of selfish at times, but she's very loyal to the Amazonian like people, and she wouldn't let anything happen to them. So I think that that creates a great environment that she would be the leader of. Um, Hawkins, terrible. Helmeppo wouldn't really do anything. Higuma and Hina, all terrible. I think Iceberg would be pretty good. The one issue being that he does kind of act a bit childish and he may be a bit too reliant potentially on other like cabinet members. But he very solidly like oversaw the Galley Law Company for clearly what is a decent amount of time at least. And he was also the mayor of Water 7. So he does have government experience of some kind, which is a lot better than I can say for a lot of characters on this list already. But so I would think he'd be pretty solid. ECG, that's just not a good mix. I truly don't think IDEO would really care that much. Nor would Inazuma. Potentially, I don't think they would do anything. Ivankov, mm, I think Ivankov could be pretty good because he was shown to like be ruling over the Kamabaka Queendom and also like the people in level 5.5 of Impel Down. So he has some sort of experience with overseeing things, and he's also one of the top heads of the Revolutionary Army. Um, so yeah, I think he would be solid. I'm not really like a glaring issue, but also nothing that puts him any higher necessarily. Jabra just does not work. Would not be a good mix. Simon Jozu, I don't really think would do anything. Judge and Kaido would both be dictators. Kaku would not really care about doing anything. Um, Halifa, probably a dictator. Okay, Katakuri. Katakuri is interesting. So Katakuri, has been acting, even though we haven't really seen what he's up to since the end of Whole Cake, we are aware that he has been the head of the Big Mom Pirates ever since. Um, okay, there we go. Uh, so he is currently the head of the Big Mom Pirates, even though we haven't seen or heard from him in quite a while. Um, and with that really being considered, I think that he would be, um, I'll probably say pretty good because he clearly has some experience with doing this. Um, and I think that he is a solid leader. Um, uh, Killer, I don't really think Killer would do much of anything. King also probably not really. Kizaru is the definition of not doing anything, just straight up. I don't think Koal would really do anything either. Kobe, on the other hand, Kobe will be the second character that I put in the illustrious best of the best president material here because um he is a natural born leader. He is a known hero. He's very popular. He is extremely um capable, okay, and he possesses the kind of fortitude to do what is necessary. And um there are like some theories I've seen thrown around that like Kobe might become the head of the government after Emu is defeated at the end of the story. Um and when you think about all that, I think it's easy that he would be best of the best president material. Um Leader of What's his name again? Hosa! That's his name. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So Koza is not a bad leader. However, uh he was staging a rebellion. Now, granted, it was because Crocodile was manipulating the throne, but that being said, I don't think that he would necessarily make the best leader on his own. Um, Don Krieg, awful. Kumadori, not great. Okay, Kuma's a bit of a weird one. Um, I think that I mean I don't really think he would do anything ultimately. And the reason why I say that is because even though he is probably the best dad in all of One Piece and probably one of the best in all of anime that I've seen, um, he, I think due to the fact that much of the story he is just a cog of the world government that only took orders, and the fact that he kind of only wanted which very fairly enough, I will add that he just wanted a peaceful life raising his daughter Bonnie. I don't feel like that. I feel like that kind of disqualifies him from being able to do anything in a proper executive role necessarily. Also, I'm gonna move Don 3 down to dictator. Pareja would not really care, would not want to do anything. Um, Pro, a dictator. Okay, law. So law is interesting because he is the leader of his crew. He is a captain, so he does have that little bit going for him. Um, where I think Law kind of falters is I think that he doesn't necessarily have enough of his own independent will to exert authority as much as some of the other characters, like Fujitora, for example, or Hydroiden. So I want to say he's pretty good. Leo, you know what? I actually think Leo might be solid because, I think Leo, even though he's not the leader of the Tentata, he is like one of their commanders. He does a good job leading them against the Dofi family in the Dressrosa arc. Um, and I think that he has the qualities to make a solid leader for himself. Lucci, I think, would be a dictator. Lucky Roo would not give a single shit. Okay, Luffy. Um, So I mean, we all love Luffy being a fantastic captain, but let's be honest, unless there was meat involved, Luffy would not do anything at all. Um, Makino, I also don't think would really do anything either. Marco, see, Marco, I actually would say would be very good because he, in the 2 years since the Marineford War, he took care of Whitebeard's like home base and ensured that it remained a secret. Um, so I actually think that he would do a very good job. He's extremely calm and collected and very even-headed, and I think he would be able to make good policy. Mihawk definition of not doing anything. I don't know what to rank Momonga. I'm just gonna say probably wouldn't do very much. Gecko Moria, a dictator. Bon Clay, he's the goat. I love Bon Clay, but like he just has no he just has no presidential qualities. He would not really do much of anything. Nami. So Nami, I think, would be pretty good. The biggest issue with Nami is the fact that um he would probably bankrupt the country, but I think that other than that aspect, like if she ignores her money obsession, she would be pretty solid. Nojiko, I just don't think really would care enough necessarily. Same thing with Hachan or Lumbus. I don't feel like that warrants much explanation because Ors is just a giant and he would not really be able to do anything. Solly, I think, would not really do anything. He doesn't really have enough of his own authority to do so. Pell was not a bad, like, commander of the guard. I don't think he would make a bad leader overall. Corona, awful. Rayleigh would not really care that much about being president necessarily. I don't think Reiju would either. Sabo. Okay, Sabo. So Sabo is the second in command of the Revolutionary Army. I think he's very clearly a very active character. He is a good leader. As far as I'm concerned, I would put Sabo in very good, to be honest. A Kainu definition of a dictator. Sanji, I don't really think he would do anything. I really don't think he has the necessary leader qualities. Um Sengoku. Okay, Sengoku I think would be very good because he was fleet admiral for quite a while and he clearly had to make a lot of very difficult decisions. Um and especially during very difficult times it would seem. um so I feel like he would actually have really good leader qualities, all things considered. Okay, Shanks. I mean, I don't really think Shanks would care that much necessarily. I don't think he really does anything. Sachi and Penguin, I'm sorry, you definitely do not do anything. Shiryu would be a dictator. Smoothie would not really do much of anything. Spondum would be a horrible leader, absolutely atrocious. Stussy, I also don't think would do anything. And, once again, I can't really tell who that's supposed to be. Juru, I feel like at least pretty good. Um, Aruj, that's not a good mix at all. Usopp is a coward, and I think that he has not the right leader qualities at all. I don't think he would be a good leader at all. Van Augur is probably a dictator. Vista wouldn't really do anything. Wapple is a dictator. Yasop definitely would not do anything. Yonji, I'm gonna say a dictator. Zeph and Zoro, for that matter, would not care. Um, Caesar would use the entire country as test subjects. That's a horrible mix. Caribou, awful. Just not a good mix. Okay, Corazon. All right, finally something decent. So I think he would go in pretty good because he has his head very stably on his shoulders. He is very smart. I just don't think that he would possess as good of leader qualities as some of the other characters on here. Dellinger, that's a disastrous mix. Diamante is probably some kind of dictator. Okay, Fisher Tiger. I actually think that Fisher Tiger is very good material, to be honest, because I think that he was the very proud and very good leader of the Sun Pirates, and I think that that gives him a lot of credibility. He also he might have some discrimination issues, but I think that overall he is quite good material. In terms of leading. Um, the Vice Pharaoh, that's not a good mix at all. Hinimon, I think would be pretty good, but his issue is he doesn't have as many of the defining leadership qualities I feel like are necessary in a good president. Little Orange Jr., that's not a good mix. Even if he would be significantly better than Orange, it's still not a good mix. Um, Magellan, I'm kind of tempted to say dictator. I think I will. Monet, that's an awful mix. Pedro. Okay, Pedro would be solid because he was one of the leaders of the Minks, I think. He was one of like the most active people that was helping Luffy during that mission. He was like kind of in a very active position and he was willing to sacrifice himself. I think those are all like good marks, like good presidential marks probably. I don't know enough about Shiggy to rank him. Scrabble would be absolutely horrible. And then Virgo would be some kind of dictator for sure. Okay, this completes the tier list. I'm just gonna do one more thing because I could 9. Okay. I am going to elevate one more character from this tier. It's kind of difficult between Fujitora and Gendo, but I'm gonna say Fujitora is the final character that would go in the best material, with Koli being at the top of that tier, and that's the only one I'm gonna bother ordering. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Very, very fun tier list idea. And once again, as I said in the beginning, if you have any ideas that you would like me to rank One Piece characters as in a tier list, or you want me to do something with the Roommate series, like another franchise I haven't covered yet, or one of the ideas I've done with One Piece characters, but with a different franchise as well, if you like to mix and match it, then let me know in the comments if you would like to see that because as I think I've explained before, this is the kind of content I've been really enjoying doing recently, and it will be what I'm doing for probably the next several videos. So yeah, if you have any ideas like that, please let me know in the comments. And hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye bye.